caught you staring across the room. Not sure that you made the move. Something like a magnet, I'm drawn to you, but somehow, baby, I'm feeling blue.
Hello everyone. Let's talk today about the extended version of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The first 4 levels of the pyramid, as Maslow explains, there are about needs that express lack, and that the human being should make sure that they take care of. Whereas the 5th level is not about lack, it's still a need, but it's about self-realization. It's about making sure that we feel better, we feel complete, we feel happy. After designing the pyramid, sometime later, Maslow revisited the pyramid that he designed and added 2 levels between level 4 and level 5, and then there was also that level that Maslow added after level 5. Of the 2 levels added between levels 4 and 5, we have the cognitive need that human beings have, which is some process that occurs in the brain that is our learning process from the state of not knowing to the state where we are aware that we are learning, and the state where we know that we've just learned something new. That is the process, step by step, that represents the cognitive need. We're aware, we're learning. When we are learning, we usually use our senses. Sometimes one, sometimes a few of them, sometimes all 5. What does that look like? I'll take 2 examples. If we are using our sight, SIGHT, that means we are looking at something new, something we're learning about, thanks to our eye. And the fact that we're looking at something new to us, we can be trying to store in our brain as much information as possible. For instance, we could pay special attention to shapes, to colors, to thickness, to anything that looks like what we are looking at for the first time, so that we can remember better by assimilation. And this is also part of the learning process when we consciously bring techniques to the learning process on purpose. We're doing something that will help us. So when we get information into the brain through any sense or a few senses or all senses, the brain stores the information, and when later we are again in the presence of anything new to us, and that the information is there and that we can use it, that's when we remember things that we know about. We can recognize what we already know. We have to know first, then we can recognize. Another example, how about taste? When we're using taste, we're using our tongue, our mouth, our cheeks, our throat, and we discover whether or not whatever we put in our mouth, if it's liquid, solid, maybe something different than liquid or solid, could be kind of jelly, for instance. So we try to understand the texture of what we have in our mouth, and we want to know if it's salty, sweet, sour, bitter, or if there is any combination of tastes. Services that we can offer and that would fill the need that's cognitive, for instance, would be pedagogy. There also would be internships and simulations. Now we're going to aesthetic. That's also a need. That's the need to appreciate beautiful art, sceneries, objects. That's also the need to appreciate sound, melodious sounds. We also, with this need, appreciate harmony, stability. And one example that we can consider with this image here is stability in the context of aesthetic need, the aesthetic need. It's if we took these flower pots and that we put them or on top of the, let's say it's a wall. If that's a wall and that it's large enough to support those two parts, and that they're right in the middle and there is some space on all around each part, then we could consider that there's some stability, and that would also probably contribute to the beauty of the scenery that we are enjoying. However, if either of these two parts seems to be unstable and could fall at any time, that kind of ruins the feeling of seeing stability. That part doesn't seem stable anymore. And most people might tend to go and try to make the part stable again, besides the fact that if the part fell, that could represent some type of danger. Say if there was any animal underneath, or any baby or anybody, or that parts of the pot could be flying off the air and hitting anybody with the speed and the distance that could hit and that could hurt. So that's dangerous. So we have the need to appreciate beauty as human beings, and services that we can offer to fulfill this need for the appreciation of beauty are let's say fashion. Fashion is one of them. Yeah, fashion. And I'm thinking of people who love pets, let's say dogs. Some people, they go they go the extra mile. I have seen dogs dressed up, and it's not because of the weather only. I mean, well taken care of and looking pretty. Yeah. So this is also kind of a way to show the appreciation of beauty. We also can consider oil paintings, and what else? Melodious sounds, melodious rhythms, music, concerts, that's because people want to appreciate beautiful ambience, that people go to concerts in harmony with others who appreciate the same thing. So entertainment, that's also something that you can offer to help people with this aesthetic need, as Maslow describes the human being having the need to appreciate beauty. Okay, let's go to the next need added after the 5th level. That's transcendence. The need for transcendence is the human being who lives in the universe knowing that there is more than what human beings usually self-impose as limits. And for that, we can take an example in science. We have Pierre and Marie Curie, who in the past, they pushed the limit of their learning science to doing experiments and trying to understand more than what was already known, and also by working so relentlessly on the idea of knowing more, learning more, pushing their limits, and by doing so, they would have left some patrimony to the humankind. We can also consider faith. The fact that the human being believes there is a higher being than oneself, and believing, really believing. One type of transcendence example, one more type, it's when we see people devote themselves to the comfort of others who depend on them for comfort. So they're doing that for the comfort of others who depend on them for that, for comfort. I'm not repeating myself. I'm repeating on purpose. So what I really mean is that those people, they're giving what other people need. They're matching the need. Because those people cannot. They cannot offer themselves that. They are not comfortable. They are sick, for instance. And the professions I'm thinking of, there might be others. I'm thinking of nursing. I'm thinking of nursing assistants. And there might be a lot of others too. People who lovingly take care of family members who become dependent. They also have the courage to devote themselves, and that's transcendence, because everybody cannot do that. So I just shared with you what we need to understand from the extended version of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I've also suggested some ideas that are lucrative because we are considering the pyramid of Maslow from the lenses of entrepreneurship. I would like to remind you that we are making the effort together to drink water regularly. Let's drink water. I love you. We'll talk soon.